Hello there, my name is Beth Gaff and I'm the Media Literacy Coordinator here at the Peabody Public Library. And first off, I just want to stop and tell you that this class, just like all the other stream classes, is geared at your pace, which means that you can stop this, minimize this, go away from this, and come back to it if you need to at any point. Also, want to let you know that if you're part of the Computer Class Pass, that you want to be listening for that code that I have inside this class. Get that information to me so I can get you marked down for credit for watching this streamed class. If you are not a part of the Computer Class Pass and would like to be, please get in contact with me so I can get you started on that to win some prizes and some exciting opportunities there. So without further ado, I would like to welcome you to Microsoft PowerPoint Basic. Just like any other class, you're going to hear some terms that you may or may not be familiar with. So this is going to be, the next couple of slides are some quick reference guides to some of the terminology that you're going to be hearing throughout the class. So I'm just going to briefly go over these. Your action buttons, these are buttons you can click on to take you to different slides or a file or a website, possibly a sound. Your background is the underlying color of the slide. Your animation, this is the movement of text, graphics, or other objects within the slide. Blank presentation is the feature that lets you create a show from scratch using whatever layout, format, colors, and styles you prefer. These bullets, they mark usually a round or square dot to emphasize or distinguish items in a list. Clip art refers to any picture or art image that you add to improve your presentation. A design template is a pre-designed background and format that you can apply to one or all of the background slides in a presentation. Effects, this is the formatting feature that allows you to move the text on or off of a single slide. Handouts, this is the way of printing in PowerPoint so that multiple slides appear on a page, which this feature is found under your print option. A hyperlink is a shortcut that allows you to go from one presentation to another, or a program, a document, or maybe even a specific slide or website. Multimedia is a combined use of more than one media, text, image, sound, or a video. Your notes page allows you, the user, to create notes to be used with the presentation of each slide. Your outline view, this view displays the text of the slide with no other features. PowerPoint is a software program that allows you to create professional looking multimedia presentations or slideshows. A ribbon, this is the strip across the top which has the commands within the tabs of PowerPoint. A slide is a single page of a presentation in a slideshow. A slide layout is a predefined slide format that determines the position of the objects on the slide. You can access 24 different slide layouts by pulling down the Format menu. Slide Master, this controls the formatting of all the slides in a presentation. A slideshow, the view that allows you to run your presentation and preview it how it will look. Slide Sorter, this view displays miniature versions of your slides so that you can move and rearrange the slides easily by dragging. Slide View displays a single slide and allows the user to insert clip art, change the backgrounds, edit transactions, effects, and animations. Summary Slide, this is the slide that creates a bulleted list from the titles of the selected slides. A title slide, this is the first slide in the presentation. Transitions, these are the effects that move from one slide off the screen and the next slide onto during a slideshow. Your view buttons are pictured buttons located to the left bottom corner of the PowerPoint display window. Now that you have familiarized yourself with some of the terms that you might be hearing within class today, the first thing that we need to figure out is how we can find our icon and identify our icon and how we can actually get into PowerPoint. So there's actually 3 ways to begin your slideshow or to create a PowerPoint. And the first way would be by clicking on that Start menu in the bottom left-hand corner of your computer. If you have Windows 7, XP, or Vista, it's just right there, or it might be a circle. By clicking that, you can go to All Programs. That's right there at the bottom of your list, and you can see it there. And you can go to where it says Microsoft Office. By clicking on that, it gives you all the programs in Microsoft Office, and then you're able to push on PowerPoint, as you can see in that picture. Another way to do that would be just to double-click on the icon that might be on your desktop, and that's the middle picture there. I've got it circled in red. You might have a file there that just says Microsoft Office, and And if you do, then you would just double click on that and it would open up those programs like we saw in the picture to the left, and then you would be able to click on Microsoft PowerPoint from there. If you're working with Windows 8, to the right there, you should have all of your tiles put on that start menu for you once you downloaded Microsoft Office, and they should all be together, and then from there you should just be able to click on PowerPoint, whichever version that you may have downloaded already. So why don't you right now go ahead and pause this video or minimize it and go to your computer area and see if you can try these different ways of finding Microsoft Office PowerPoint, and go ahead and open it up and let's get started with it. As soon as we open up Microsoft PowerPoint, we notice that we have a screen. And this is very similar to what yours may look like. Depending upon the version that you have, it may look a tad bit different. But for the overall factor, the parts of Microsoft PowerPoint are all pretty much the same. And we're going to start off with our File tab, and that's in the left-hand corner there. And that File tab is going to give us menu options to be able to print and other types of options. You've got your Quick Access toolbar, which is right above that. That's going to allow you to go back and forward. It's also going to allow you to save from that location. You've got your title bar, which allows you to know what presentation you may be in. Microsoft PowerPoint automatically defaults your presentation to presentation 1 if you're just opening it for the first time. So you may see up there where it says just presentation 1. Once you save this file, that will change to whatever you save it to. You've got your ribbon tabs, and those are those word headings along the top: your home, insert, design, transaction, animation, slideshow, review, and view. And then you've got your program level control buttons, and those are up at the very top right hand corner. This is where you can minimize, maximize, or close out the program. You've got your groups, which is in your ribbon. That's all the way across there, and it shows you all the different groups, the fonts, the paragraphs, the drawing, the editing. Those are all groups in your ribbon. You've got your slides outline pane. This is going to show you all the slides that you have and that you're using. You can also click on that outline and it actually breaks it down into words instead of slides. And then you've got your slide pane, and our very first slide, we've already learned from our terminology, is our title page slide. So that's how this has started out. At the bottom there, you've got your view buttons, and those are how you want to display your slideshow. And then of course you've got your notes pane, and this may be where you want to add some notes for yourself, or maybe you want to add those notes on the handouts. When you add notes to this field, they won't actually show up on your presentation, but they will show up on your handouts if you choose that particular option. And then of course you have your status bar, and that tells you how many slides you have and what you're working with. So go ahead, since you've got it open right now, since we already identified our icon and we got it open, and just kind of click on some of these features. Go ahead and click on minimize and maximize. Look at your groups. Click on that File tab and take a look at those options for you. Look at your slide pane. Go ahead and add some notes in that field, and just kind of play around with the interface of Microsoft PowerPoint. Alright, so taking a look at the ribbon, we can see that we have several options. The very top row, where it says, the very top picture there is our home ribbon, and what that means is that our ribbon tab is home, and within that home tab we have all those features underneath. Now if we were to click on the insert, which is that second picture underneath there, we can see that our ribbon options now are just a tad bit different. So within each of those tabs, your ribbon is going to change quite significantly. You're going to have some different options that you're going to be able to have. And that bottom picture there just kind of lets you know that each tab is divided into groups. You can click a tab to see more commands, and that's shown in the pictures above. You can click an arrow for more group commands. So if you have arrows at the bottom, you can click on those and they'll give you more options. And then your contextual tabs will appear when certain items are selected. So when we go to insert our shapes or our clip art or something like that, or our chart, like you can see in that middle picture on insert, we have all kinds of options for inserting something into our presentation. Anytime we insert something, we're going to get a special tab, and that's when that contextual tab is. It's just an extra tab because we've done something extra. So anytime that you insert something, you're going to get a tab that's affiliated with that particular insert. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get a little farther in the class. But right now, go ahead and minimize this video and pause it and just take a look at your ribbons. Click on those tab headings, those ribbon headings, or the tabs: Home, Insert, Design, Animations, Slideshow Review, View, and just kind of look within them. You're not going to hurt anything. Go ahead and push buttons. It's just fine. You're going to do just fine with this, and just kind of explore a little bit with the ribbon itself. So we already know that as soon as we find our icon and we double click it and it opens, we've now just created a new presentation. So that very first picture there to the left shows how it will look as soon as we open it. Okay, so let's say that we have two presentations that we want to do at the same time. Maybe one is just a tad bit different than the other, but we want two of them going at the same time. The way that we would do that is go to our File tab, or if maybe your particular version may have that circle in the upper left-hand corner, you can click on that, and then a menu is going to come down. If you click on New and then Blank Presentation, then it's going to open up and it's going to look just like that picture to the left, except the title at the top will say Presentation 2 instead of Presentation 1. So if I open up another one and I've got three of them going, now I've got Presentation 1, Presentation 2, Presentation 3. So I think you get the idea. The more that I add, the more that it's going to go up in numbers. So that's why I've circled that bottom picture for you, just to let you know that whenever you add a new presentation, it's going to be labeled at the top, either Presentation 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you're working with the new 2013 version, it is slightly different, but you can still have that File button. You can still click on that New, and that blank presentation is still available to you. So go ahead right now and minimize this video and pause it, and just try opening up some different slideshows just at the same time. We can close those out at any point, but I just want you to be familiar with how you're going to actually create a blank slideshow if you wanted to while you're working on another slideshow. Okay, so at this point you can decide whether or not you just want to use that basic white PowerPoint slideshow that comes up automatically when you click on it, or you can actually go in and choose a design for your slide. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to click on that Design tab that's at the very beginning. You have your Home, Insert, and then Design. And by clicking on that, you're going to get a whole row of different kinds of designs. Now, if you click on that arrow, and I've got it boxed in to the right of that first picture, it's going to bring down a menu, and you're going to get a whole bunch of other slide options that you can choose from. So you can just click on those and pick those. Now, keep in mind that when you do create a design and you choose a design, that sometimes our title page may not be exactly where it was when we started with, meaning when we opened up our blank presentation, we just are with a white document or a white slide, if you will. If we choose a design, now we're getting into a part where that's going to alter what that title slide looks like. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're putting in text and adding content later, that it probably won't look quite the same depending on the design that you choose. That purple circle that I have there to the right of that ribbon allows you to also go in and change the colors, the fonts, and the effects of that particular design. So you can kind of play around with that. Also, I have it at the picture at the bottom, shows you that when you push on that Colors tab, how it's set up, and you can push different kinds of themes. So at this time, go ahead and pause this video or minimize it, and go into your PowerPoint presentation and just kind of play around with that Design tab and pick on some of those designs and add some some wording into those boxes, those text boxes that you already have in there, just to kind of see the changes and the differences. And go ahead and push on the colors and change those theme colors around a little bit. So right now we're working on our Design tab, so go ahead and apply your design that you would like to use for your presentation. Okay, so adding content to your slides is fairly easy. As far as your interface goes, when you first pull up that PowerPoint presentation, you've got your title page there, or your title slide, and you can enter text right onto those text boxes that are already in there. So when you click on New Slide, the next slide will have another text box, and so forth and so on. But let's say that you want to add an additional text box or an additional box to be able to add information or type information. You would do this through your Insert tab. And by clicking on your Insert tab, there is actually a box there called your text box. And that text box inserts a text box into your document or slide, or a selected shape or something to that effect, where you are able to download some extra information that you may want to add. So why don't you right now go ahead and minimize the slideshow or pause this show and go to Microsoft PowerPoint and try adding some content onto your slides. And you can do that just by clicking inside of those boxes, and you can see that very first picture to the left there. It has a box, and it's kind of outlined, and you can actually type within that. And then try inserting your own text box to see what the difference is, how it works. And go ahead under your Home tab and click on New Slide, and watch those slides kind of appearing to the left, and you can see them there in that first picture. We've got our title slide first, and then they have several slides of graphs underneath, where you can just click on New Slide, and you're going to see what text box you're going to get with that and what you're going to be able to do within that. So go ahead right now and try adding content to your slides. Now we're going to kind of look at the different groups within our ribbon, and the first one that we're going to talk about is our fonts and our colors and our styles. And under our Home tab, we have a font group, and I've got it pictured down there for you so you can see it. And that top picture there kind of tells you what's in your font group. You've got your font style. This will change how your text will look, and I've got a picture of that to the right there. And if you push that arrow to the right of the naming or the heading there, then you're going to get another menu that comes down and gives you all those great options. And then you've got your font size, and this is how big or small you want your text. Next to that, you've got your grow or your shrink features, or your increase or decrease. By pushing those, it's just going to make those letters smaller, and then by pushing the other one, it's going to make them bigger. And as you do that, you're actually going to see that font size box there change numbers according to whatever size that you have going there. The clear formatting, this just clears out everything that you have, and you can start over. Of course, you've got your bold, italics, and underline, strike through, and drop shadow options. That's all within that pane. Increase space between your letters. That's there as well. Set your capitalization. Maybe you want them all capitals. Maybe you only want certain ones capitals. And of course, your font colors. So down below that picture, we can see that if we push on our font colors, we actually get a pane that comes up. If you push directly on that A with that red line under it, it's going to automatically change your lettering to red, because that's the color that is highlighted. But if you choose that arrow right next to it, it's going to bring down a theme color menu, and you can see that in the bottom picture there, where it's going to give you more options. So within there, you can actually push on what color it is that you're wanting to apply. Now, in order for this color to change and work, you would either need to highlight, and what I mean by highlighting your text is putting your mouse where the letters are and left clicking and dragging it all the way across, and then you would be able to apply those colors directly to it. Or you can just click on the box itself and get that cursor out of there altogether, and it's going to change those colors as well. So we can see all the different fonts, colors, and styles within our font pane or our font groups. So right now, I'd like for you to minimize this particular slideshow and go into your Microsoft PowerPoint and just kind of play around with your font sizes a little bit. Now that you've added some content to those slides, you can now change them according to maybe the way that you want the style to look, or maybe you want to increase the size, or maybe you want to change the color. So go ahead right now and just kind of play around with your font group or your font pane. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the font size and how it works in your font pane a little bit. You can see that right dead in the center of this, or right to the left, that picture there to the left, they've actually highlighted that your title area, and that's what I was talking about when I said highlighting. You're going to actually take your mouse, if yours just says your title or whatever you have there, you would put your mouse at the end, left click, and drag it all the way across those letters, and it kind of blocks them in. In this particular picture, they're gray. Sometimes they turn blue, and from there you can use your font pane by just clicking on the number of whatever size you want it to be, and it will automatically do that for you. Or maybe you want to choose your style, and it'll do that for you as well. That picture there to the right where I have that small a and that big A boxed in with that arrow pointing down to another small arrow is kind of what I was talking about your grow and your shrink feature, or your increase and decrease. This is going to change the size of your lettering and how it is. So by pushing those, it's going to make them up and down. And when you do that, that 18 would now change to whatever number you set it at. So if I push on that little arrow next to it, it's going to give me that long list like I see to the left of all the different font sizes. And then at the bottom there, I just have a picture of the ribbon showing you the actual font group or your font pane. So if you haven't had a chance yet to get in there and just kind of play around with your font sizes, colors, and styles, go ahead right now and pause this video and go into Microsoft PowerPoint and just kind of play around with the fonts. And please don't be afraid. There's nothing at this point that you can do that's going to hurt anything. The best way to learn how to do these types of programs is by pushing on buttons and pushing things. So please push on these buttons and apply these actions to your slides so that you have a better understanding of the fonts and the styles and the colors. Okay, so moving on to our next part of our pane, which underneath our Home tab, is using the paragraph tool. And we can see here in that very first picture with all the wording all the way around it, this is what your paragraph tool looks like. And again, that's under your Home tab, and it's right next to that font pane. So this is your paragraph pane. So we can see that we're going to just start the list. There in the corner, it's showing the list. That's how you're going to list out those items. Maybe you want them bulleted, which gives you those little dots, and we can see that in the very bottom, almost center. It says bullets and numbering picture. That's what you're going to get when you push on that list. And of course, the increase and the decrease of your indent. Maybe you want to start yours out a little bit farther. Maybe you want it to come in a little bit. Again, that's a personal type of preference. You can increase the spacing between your lines, and that's what that does. Set the text direction of how you want it set up. You can align the text within the text box, and that's what that particular push on would do. And you can present text in a timeline, or a diagram, an organization chart, or a graphical form, and you do that by using that Smart Art, and that's actually more of a PowerPoint advanced class. We're not going to get too much into that at this point. You can create columns, and of course you have your alignment options, which allow you to center your information. So to the right here, we can see that because they have inserted something, they have that new drawing tool up there that says format, but I've circled that paragraph pane to show you where it's located and what we're doing. And here you can clearly see that that list option is chosen, and they're using the bullets, and those dots in that list. It says top of mind, brand recall, brand recognition, and unaware. They have little dots there, and those part of that list are the bullets and numbering system. That's how they got that. And of course they have it moved to the left, and we can see it pushed in. So if we push that center button, then it's going to move it to the center. And I have a picture of that center button right underneath that slide, and it shows you the lines and how they're centered. And so why don't you right now just kind of take a look at your paragraph tool, minimize and pause this video and go away from it, and just kind of take a look at your paragraph tool and try doing that highlighting on that text like I showed you before, just dragging your mouse over and highlighting your text, and just kind of push some of these buttons, make it all go to the left, go ahead and center it, try doing your bullets or your numbering system, and just play around with that paragraph pane or that paragraph group. Okay, so now we're going to insert some clip art and some pictures. And anytime that we want to insert something, the best way to do that is to actually go to our Insert tab. So as you can see on the left, I have a little small picture of a portion of the ribbon, and that's that Insert tab that you would click on. To the right there, we can see that once we click on that insert, then we can pick on clip art, and that's going to be any kind of art that's already stored into Microsoft Office. And it pulls up a pane to the right, and here's where we can actually search for whatever it is we're looking for. And in this particular situation, they were looking for a hammock. So they typed in hammock and they got pictures for that. And once you get that image, you can just double click on it, and then it automatically inserts it into your slide. And from there you can, from the corners, you can make it smaller or bigger or what have you. Now if you wanted to insert a picture from your computer, then you would click on that Insert tab and click on Picture, and as soon as you do, a file box is going to open up, and it's going to want you to look for that picture within your computer. So make sure that you know exactly where your picture is so that you're easily able to find it, and then again you would just double click on it like you did the clip art. Now if you're getting text from the internet or pictures from the internet where you're going in and copying those pictures, you definitely want to make sure that you also copy the website that goes along with that picture, just for the simple fact that the picture does not belong to you, and if you take it from another site, then you're technically technology stealing it. So you definitely want to give that person credit where credit is due, and give them credit for their picture. So make sure you get at least either write down the web address where you found the picture, or you can just copy and paste it from your address bar in your web browser, or your search engine, whichever you're using. So this is just inserting clip art and pictures, and as soon as you do that and you insert something, you're automatically going to get a new tool tab that's affiliated with that insert, and we're going to talk about that in the next slide. But right now, go ahead and minimize and pause this video and go in there and try to insert some clip art and pictures. And remember, the best way you're going to do this is to go to that Insert tab and then click on Clip Art, which is right underneath it, and then you're going to get a little menu that comes up to your right, and then you can type in whatever it is you're looking for. Make sure that you check that little box on there that it says Include Office.com content if you are working from the internet, so you're able to get the full amount of pictures. If it's not checked, then you're only going to get maybe a couple, but if it's checked, you're going to get several and several, and you'll have more options. And then you can even go ahead and try inserting just a regular picture from your computer. So go ahead right now and just play around with the clip art and pictures within Insert tab of your ribbon. Here's that new tool tab I was telling you about. So for instance, we have a drawing tool here, and that may have happened if we clicked on Insert and then we pushed on Shape. We got a drawing tool. If you clicked on Insert and you inserted clip art, then you're going to get a picture tool. And once that tool is available to you, you can click on it, and there's more features that you can do with that particular item that you just inserted through that tab. So I wanted you to see physically what the new tab might look like. And in this situation, it looks like they inserted some type of shape or something to that effect, and they received that drawing tool. We just got done inserting the clip art and the pictures, and if for that reason we would get a picture tool that we could use. So depending on what you are inserting, if you insert a chart, you would then get a chart tool. So I think you kind of get the idea. So whatever you're inserting, you're going to get an extra tab to help you with that particular insert, and you're going to get more options. So go ahead right now and just try clicking on that picture tool once you've inserted that clip art or your pictures, and just kind of look at the different options you can have. From there, you can crop them, you can make the pictures lighter or darker, you can change the style of them altogether. The options really are endless when it comes to these extra tabs that you get. So I've been talking to you a lot about inserting shapes, and now we're actually going to apply that. We're going to insert some shapes and some word art into our presentation or our slide. So again, because we want to insert something, we're going to push on the Insert tab, and then I would go over to where it says Shapes. Once I push that Shapes, I'm actually going to get a menu that comes down, and from there I can choose the shape that I want. And it looks like in the very first left picture they've chosen a rectangle, and we can see that they were on slide 2 because it's highlighted in another color, and there's that rectangle. It's on their slide now. So over there to the right, they've not only inserted a shape, but now they've also got an area where they can insert some text on top of that. And we can actually see at the top of that ribbon that with that shape we now have a new toolbar or a tool menu like any other thing that we insert. So you can go ahead and do that there. And then that bottom left hand picture just kind of shows you the word art. And again, your word art is going to be in your Insert tab, more closer to the end of the ribbon. There's like a funky looking A there, and that's word art. And when you push on that, then you're able to change the way that your wording will look. So go ahead right now and practice inserting some shapes, changing your text with the word art. And again, don't be afraid to push things. You're not going to hurt anything. At this point, we haven't even saved anything. We're just having some fun and we're learning it. So go ahead and just push on those different features. Insert a picture, a clip art, some shapes. Go ahead and even press on the chart if you want to. And see those new tools that you're going to get, the new tool tab up at the top, and look at the options that you have within those tool tabs. So maybe you've noticed while you have been taking this class that every time we come to a new subject, a new transition has come through. And what that means is that the way that the slides or the way that the video is switching itself to the next topic is different at each time, and these are called transitions. And I wanted to make sure that I had a transition on every single slide that I put in this video so you'd have an understanding of what exactly a transition is and what it does. And you can actually find that Transitions tab on your tabs. It's next to your Design tab, and by clicking on that you're going to get a whole bunch of different options. The first thing that's going to be checked is going to be, or pushed in, is going to be none, and that's because you haven't said anything to it. There's nothing there. So from this point you can actually push on whatever it is exactly you want to apply and whatever transition you want to apply. So to the right there, it's kind of telling you how you can do that. You're going to select the slide that you want to transition, and then you're going to go up and select that Transitions tab, and they've got a little squiggly line going up there for you. And then you're going to select the transition that you want to use for that slide, and then select the more options for all of the gallery selections. So you'll get more transitions by pushing on that little arrow there at the bottom like you see to the left. It just pulls them down and you can see them all. And just push on it and see what's going to happen. It's going to show you exactly what your slide's going to look like, and how it's going to change. So again, this is just changing it on the slide. This is one transition of a slide to another. And so go ahead and push on that Transitions and just kind of play around with those different transitions on the slides. Animations are very similar to your transitions in the aspect that they are to make it look glorified, meaning I might want my words to come in later, or maybe my picture will pop up later. And as soon as the slide came up, you should have noticed that I had some different kind of animations going on. And the way that we find this, again, it's on our home or our ribbon tabs, and it just says animation, and you click on that, and from there you can highlight the text that you might want to animate, or maybe the object. So this is actually working within the slide itself. The objects are items that you may have in the slide that where you're able to have an animation where they come out on their own, or the wording comes out by itself, or what have you. So go ahead right now and just treat this the same way you did the transitions. The only difference is if you want to use the animation on your text or the typed area, you would want to highlight that area and then choose your animation. And that's how it will be applied to it. So this is animations differs from transitions, and the way that it differs is that transitions just from one slide to another, whereas animations is the items or objects that are within that slide. So go ahead right now and just kind of play around with those animations on your PowerPoint presentation. Once you start entering in those animations, you're going to be able to decide what order you want that to happen in. So for instance, if you have wording that you want to come into the slide by itself, maybe you want it to come in before a picture does, and things to that effect. So under your animations tab, you have a button that's actually called the animation pane. So when you start applying some of these animations, then you can go over to the right after you push on animation pane, and you can go to the right, and then you can actually go in and do special things within those animations. You can set some timing on them if you want. You can switch them around and move them around to where maybe the picture's coming in before the text, or however you want to do that. But I wanted you to be familiar with your animations pane, because this is what's going to kind of guide you through the order that you might want these animations to appear on your particular slide. So right now, go ahead, since we're still in the animations pane or in the animations tab, and click on that animations pane, and you're going to physically see or visibly see all of the animations that you've applied to that particular slide. And from there you have more options, and you can click on the arrows next to them, you can move them around, and you can push play and it'll just run by itself and things to that effect. So go ahead and play around with that animations pane just a little bit. Okay, so if you're ready to insert sound or a video, again, anytime we're going to insert something into our presentation, we're going to click on that Insert tab, and we can see that in that bottom left-hand picture. They've even got it spelled out for you. Click the Insert tab, and then you're going to go down and click on the sound. And when you click on the sound, you're going to get, and that's that top picture there, you're going to get three options. The only way that the record audio will actually be functional is if you have a microphone hooked up. So if you don't have a microphone hooked up and you're seeing that you can't push it, that would be why. If you push on the clip art audio, that's similar to your clip art, so it's going to pull up any audio that Microsoft Office has programmed within it, and then you would just double click it and it would go straight into your slide. Recorded audio, again, it just goes straight onto your slide. And audio from a file, maybe you've got music that you want to put against your slide, that is where you would find that. And then to the right, we can see if you want to enter or insert a video, you would do that the same concept through your Insert tab. Go to the video, and you can either do a clip art video, which is video that Microsoft Office already has built in there, or you can get video from a website, or you can get video from a file that you have downloaded. So go ahead, and actually there at the bottom you can use the YouTube video icon on the Insert tab of the ribbon. Sometimes that is functional, and you can click on that, and that will allow you to insert videos straight from YouTube. Not all the Microsoft PowerPoint softwares have this availability or the success ability, but you still can get the videos from YouTube if you want, and get with me if you're having problems with that, and I can help you and guide you through that. So right now we're going to work on the Insert tab with the sound and the video, and go ahead and minimize and get away from this video and go to your presentation and just kind of push on the sound. See if you can get some sounds from the clip arts audio that's in Microsoft Office. Maybe you have a video on your computer that you want to insert. Go ahead and do that now, and you can actually watch it through your PowerPoint presentation, which is kind of nice. Okay, so now we've come to the part where we might want to preview what we've done up to this point and run our slideshow. So on the interface, or the PowerPoint screen that you see, down there in the bottom right hand corner, and I've got it circled for you, you've got some options, and I've drawn an arrow to the one you want to pick, and that's what actually runs your slideshow. So if you pick on that one, then it's going to it's going to start you from the beginning. And pretty much all the animations and transitions and anything that we've done in our slideshow is going to make you do it on click. And what I mean by that is you're going to have to hit enter every time you want to switch your slides, or anytime you want to get those animations or transitions in there, you're going to want to hit enter. Now there is a way that you can go in and you can really make this slideshow pretty much go by itself when you don't have to do a whole lot, but that's more of an intermediate or advanced class, and we'll be doing that later. For the purpose of what we're doing today, I just want to get everybody started. Once you get in there, you can play around with those tabs and see the different options of what you can do. So here we can see that by pushing that, it's going to start our slideshow. So go ahead right now and minimize this video or pause this video and go in there and just push that start my slideshow button down there in the bottom right hand corner, and then hit the enters to get you through the slides, just to kind of show you how it works. If you participate in the Computer Class Pass Incentive Program, your code for this particular class is "I finally got my PowerPoint done. Give me this code so I can get you marked down for participating in this class." If you're not sure what I'm talking about, please get in contact with me so we can get you started on the Computer Class Pass Incentive Program so you're on your way to winning prizes. Now you're ready to print your slideshow for notes or handouts. You may want to pass these out to other people that are in your group, or maybe you're doing a presentation and you want to be able to let them have a notes page affiliated with your slideshow. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to go to that file button, which is in the top left hand corner of your PowerPoint, or maybe you just have a circle. Either way, it's the same thing, and click on that file button and go down to print. Once you go down to print, you're then going to be prompted. You can go, I think it's all automatically defaulted to say full page slides, and I have it circled there in that brown circle. If you click on that, though, it gives you more options. So you can click on a notes page, an outline page, the handouts, or you can do printing 3 slides per page for taking notes, but you get different options within that print pane of how you want it to look. And by clicking on that, it's going to actually show you what it's going to look like. And I believe there's 6 to 8 different options that you have for the printing purposes for notes or handouts that you want to give out in affiliation with your particular PowerPoint presentation. So go ahead right now and just minimize and go away from this video and get yourself into the file area and the print. And where it says full page slides, you're going to click on that, and it's going to give you other options that you can choose from. And you've got your handouts, your notes, your outline, and the printing 3 per slide with the lines that allows your people to take notes of whatever you're trying to teach them. So go ahead right now and just kind of play around with that printing feature, and maybe you want to go ahead and print one out for yourself to see what it's going to look like. That's perfectly okay. Again, we haven't saved anything, so nothing is permanent or in stone. So just have some fun with this printing. Now we've come to the part of the class where we're wrapping it up, and so far we have learned quite a bit today. We've learned some terms that we may not have otherwise known prior to class. We've learned what some of our tabs do and what our ribbon does. We've learned what our slides are and how we can add content to those, as well as word art and shapes and animations and transitioning from one slide to another. We've learned how to insert some sound and some video, and we've also learned how we can actually show our slideshow and how we can preview it, as well as printing out some handouts. So now we're at the part where we're going to save our presentation because we're done. So at the very top left corner, you either have a file button or that circle button like we did for the print options. You're going to click on that and you're going to go down to where it says Save As. As soon as you click on Save As, you're going to get a box that comes up, and that's that picture to the right. Microsoft PowerPoint, or really anything in Office, automatically defaults all of your presentation, slideshows, database, spreadsheets, whatever, to your documents. So here we can see that my documents is automatically pulled up when I push File, Save As, and here's where I can actually go in and name my presentation now. So here they have the file name as Presentation 2 because that's how it started out, but now I can change it to whatever I want it to be, affiliated with whatever I made it to be. So maybe if I made a family album, I would label it Family Album, and then I would click on Save. And by clicking on Save, it's going to put it in my documents where I'm going to be able to find it the next time I either want to run it or maybe the next time that I want to do something else to it. Now, once you save it, now you're not going to be able to go back and take out any of the things that you've done. It's pretty much a permanent thing now, but you can do things from here forward, meaning I've saved everything I'm going to do for today and it's in my document. Tomorrow I'm going to reopen it and I'm going to add new content to it. That you can do, and then you can just resave it, and it's easier to resave because all you'd have to push is that upper left hand corner next to your file button. You've got like a save button, and I've got a picture of it there in the bottom left for you. You can just push that instead of Save As, or you can click on the file button and go down and push Save, however you want to do it, and it's just going to automatically save. I don't have to resave it unless I want to keep my original presentation and now my new edited part, I want to save it as something else, or I want to rename it. If I want to rename it or save it as something different, then I would want to do it like I did before. But if I'm just editing it and I'm not wanting to change the name of it or anything like that, or I don't want my original plus this one, then I would just click on Save and it would save straight to what I already named it. So go ahead right now and save your presentation, and do that by going up to the File button, clicking on Save As, renaming that file, and then clicking on Save in the bottom right hand corner of that, and then go to your computer or your documents and re-find it, double click, and open it up, just so you're familiarizing yourself with how you can open those saved files and how you can close out those saved files. Alright, well, congratulations, you made it through Microsoft PowerPoint Basic. Now we only touched the surface of all the exciting things that Microsoft PowerPoint can do, but you're now ready to create your very own presentation slideshow. So good job, relax, take a breath, and be thankful that it's over. Now, if you're having problems with this or you just need some more help, please get in contact with me. I'd be more than happy to schedule a one-on-one appointment with you. This is free of charge to you. It doesn't cost you anything. And we can sit down and go over a slideshow together. So make sure that you check out some more of these stream classes, and I want to thank you again for taking the time to take the class. And you can find those stream classes just like you did here at www.ppl.lib.in.us, and you're going to find that under the Services tab. Click on your classes, and you're off. All of the links that we have are available on there. And again, if you need to set an appointment with me today, please get in contact with me here at the library. All appointments are free, or you can email me. And I can't express enough how excited I am that you were able to complete Microsoft PowerPoint. Give yourself a nice pat on the back and take a deep breath, because it's all over, and just have fun with it, because that's what it's supposed to be about. This class could not have been made possible without the following websites and information. Thank you for their participation in helping us create this class.